I'm going to try and talk as I walk the dogs. And I'm batting mosquitoes away because we've had a couple days of rain and the sun is out. And it's just going to be a glorious hour or two, and then we're going to get more rain again. So I'm thinking about the forest and walking in the forest as very much of a template for my philosophy of life as it relates to balancing myself and compassion, which is kind of the theme of the problem that I'm working on all the time. Compassion is the word for suffering with, and to suffer with someone is a very big deal, and I think it is a huge part of what I would call real love, but it's also very tiring and it's very depleting. And we now have the term compassion fatigue, which is very descriptive of how we can run out of this energy. And when we run out, it's a very, it's like a soul deep sort of sadness, of grief, because I think most of us want to think of ourselves as compassionate. And compassionate, even with all the political discord, I think there are compassionate motivations for every side of most pressing problems. And I'm just going to deke into the forest here, and I'm really going to get hammered by bugs, but it is just such a beautiful day. And what I want to demonstrate is terrain. Here is where I want to go, and there's a path in there, I know it, but first I have to go down the ditch like this, and it's all wet, and there are rose bushes everywhere and lots of flowers too. Like it's so beautiful in this part of the year. Okay, but I've been thinking a lot about how the forest is a metaphor for truth, for life, for how we are never in a right place or a wrong place in the forest. We're absolutely in a place. This is a very locatable place, and it's got lots of mosquitoes, some sunlight, some shadow, some deep moss, and a needle layer. It's just there's no particular right way to go right now. So I'm heading down what I call the magic path, and it's just so magical. Oh, and we're getting some rain too, just on cue. And anyway, so the forest is my picture, because I live in the forest. The forest is my picture of truth, and how I could at any point, just look around and go, I need to understand more about, say, this wild rose, or I need to understand more about these poplars, or this undergrowth here, this flower. There's so many things that I could choose to pay attention to, and they are all interesting. They are all equally valid. They are worthy of my regard and my kind of diving deep, my curiosity. And none of them are better than the others. And so this is a nice picture, of course. Like some people might be very interested in the macro of this forest and where it fits in the province or in the Canadian Shield, or, you know, geological time and what all has been done to it, and native plants versus introduced species. Like, there's just so many things about a forest that can be drilled down into very microscopically or pulled back telescopically. And it's all true. It's true. It's just the truth. And so I think, you know, in thinking about this human endeavor that we're in, where we are all trying to figure out something, I think the forest is a nice metaphor. And further to that, there's this social drive I have to be with the group, to belong, to find a way of going, or a place to be that is safe. And I think it's you know, part of this herd mentality. You can hear the dogs with their bear bells. Let's see if I can get Joy in the frame. Yes. We have a lot of bears. We have so many bears this spring, and so I'm just trying to make a lot of noise. But anyway, I have always been somewhat preoccupied with the groupings. And I grew up in the 80s. So Breakfast Club is me. You know, the high school cliques was very much a thing in the 80s. And we were very sorted by money, by behavior, by intelligence, by athleticism, by lots of observable factors that I think most of us kind of, like, we actually validated those ways of filtering and sorting who was cool and who was not, and who should be, you know, abused versus who should be revered. That's extreme, but it happened. And any of you who are in my cohort might remember that. And high school is a particularly rough place to come of age. And so some of that really settled into my neural architecture, where I feel that there are somewhere out there a group that I wish I belonged to, and that I don't belong to, and that I'm on the outside. And to some extent in the forest, that makes me feel lost. Like, I'm lost. I'm not there yet. And so this has given me a sense of urgency, where I have really tried to get from where I am to a place where I imagine the forest maybe it ends, maybe it clears up, maybe it's where the cool people are. And if I could just go faster and farther and get up earlier and do better, I would join that group. And I'm realizing more and more and over again as I, you know, get more mature, that's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. There's no end to this forest of truth. It just goes on and on and on. And there are various ecosystems, and there are clearings. I'll get to one right away. There are different landscapes and different places, and I might find people. I might find groups of people. I might be very interested in the people that I meet up with. But it's not like anybody has found the right way to go, or is in any, you know, imminent danger of reaching the end of the forest. There's no end. It's that large. Hi, Joy. And so here we go. Here's a bit of a place that burnt down about 28 years ago. And so it's grown up again. But it is a little bit more open. And I've lost my other dog. Anyway, this is my thought for today. There's no end to the forest. There's no cool group that I need to find. There's no particular trail that will get me to a place that's worth getting to. I am in it. I'm already in it, and wherever I am is wonderful. And there's something that is worth looking at wherever I am, and there is something worth investigating and or even, telling people about. But it's no better or worse than any other place in the forest. It's just this place. And this is a very grounding sort of picture for me. And so I'm just wanting to share it with you because I think it's going to become the template for, how I continue to work to balance my soul and my, locate my home and really try to kind of include all of my team in the projects that occur to me and which seem important to me, but none of them are urgent. That's the difference, I guess. There's no urgency here. I just can continue to explore this lovely forest, which today is very friendly and except for the bugs. I just got one, flew right down my throat. It's very friendly, ish. And that's kind of how life is. Sometimes you have friendly days, and sometimes we have winter. And so, anyway, that's my picture for today. Thank you for coming along on this walk with me. I now need to find Kyrie, who has totally disappeared. And I will resume these walks on Wednesday. I really will also resume working with Tundra, but I have had mic difficulties, and so I recorded a bunch of videos that had no sound, which was very discouraging. And so I have to start over again with that. But anyway, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again.